Hi, I'm Rachel Funk with Grand Canyon Conservancy. I live and work at Grand Canyon National Park. Where we live can help shape who we are. My life experiences and the relationship to where I live is special to me. Your family, neighborhood, and culture might be different from mine, but your life experiences and where you come from are important and meaningful to you. I recently talked to a Hopi tribal person to find out how this landscape has shaped him and what he values.
My name is Lyle Balinqua. I come from the Hopi Tribe, the village of Bakavi on Third Mesa. I'm a member of the Greasewood clan on my mother's side, and my father is Snake clan, also from Hopi. For me, as an indigenous person coming from, Hopi tradition, um, we have a long history of living on the landscape here in the Southwest, and so that history, is thousands of generations long. What better place than Grand Canyon to really talk about how Hopi culture and history is intricately embedded, tied to this landscape. For us, we have clan migration histories that talk about inhabiting this region. We have songs that speak about certain landmarks here. And so, when we perform ceremonies, in one respect, we are reenacting all of that human movement across the landscape. And we're evoking all of that past history that's associated with a specific geographic area like Grand Canyon, and then you can get finer and finer specific points about different landmarks that are in the canyon itself that have ongoing meaning and influence within Hopi culture today. We are who we are because of where we are, is what I tell people. And we're corn farmers, which amazes people that we're able to grow corn in a dry desert environment where we get 12 to 16 inches of moisture per year. You have to have a lot of faith and a lot of prayer to live in that kind of harsh landscape. And so I think that's how our whole worldview and culture is really structured around some of those values of humility, cooperation, being able to have a community sense of who you are, that you do belong to a community, and that it does take many different individuals and groups within that community to make it work. Being out on the landscape, whether we're farming or gathering plants and herbs for medicinal use or utilitarian goods, it still reinforces that idea of, we made a conscious choice to live in that harsh landscape. And in doing so, it toughens you up, and it makes you realize that you are not at the center, of the universe, that you have to have harmony and that stewardship value, again, of taking care of the landscape so that in turn it can take care of you. And so, it's definitely shaped us who we are, going into the future.
With the Hopi's strong ties to where they live, I was curious how climate change might affect the future of Hopi people.
We worry about, how we're going to maintain our culture going into the future when natural resources are such a huge part of our cultural identity. Springs, crops, the animals that, are there. So it really does, really kind of create some turmoil there in terms of who we are and where we're headed.
Before closing my discussion with Lyle, I asked him if there was anything else that he'd like people to know about a Hopi perspective of Grand Canyon.
I would like folks to know that, yeah, we're still a part of this landscape in the cultural standpoint, but we're also a part of the process to help be stewards of this landscape. And so, we do care about what happens to our national parks because they were and still are a part of our ancestral home base. We want people to respect our cultural values that are associated to this landscape, and that requires education. You can't read somebody's mind. You have to have that two-way communication, to really help people get an understanding of just what a special place the Grand Canyon is and that it's still a very integral part, of Hopi culture in 2020.
Taking time to learn about others allows different perspectives to be shared and provides opportunities to learn. Do you know friends and family who might have different experiences in their lives? Can you think of one way that the place where you live has shaped who you are? Thanks for joining me today at Grand Canyon, and don't forget to check out our online activities if you want to learn more.